love what Billy Donovan's doing, and he actually made some pretty. It was a questionable move, but man, did it work last game?
Yeah, I think it was just like a coaching move that Boylan or Hoiberg would never have done as like younger, not rookie coaches, I guess, in the
Mm-hmm.
NBA. That was a veteran move. I mean, he's been around the NBA and he knows how to get his players out of slumps. And I mean, it watching yesterday, it worked pretty well. I mean, they played phenomenal the first half. I think they combined for like 19 in the first half or
Mm-hmm.
something. I mean, Wendell was being aggressive. Coby was being aggressive. I think they needed that. So I'm glad Donovan actually made the move and did that, especially because they're so young. I think they just sometimes need to slow the game down, maybe watch on the bench, let the vets work with the youngins for a little bit. And them coming off the bench, I mean, that's a lot of offensive firepower
Oh yeah.
off the bench. So I like the move. I anticipate that they will keep coming off the bench at least for a couple more games, and then who knows, maybe they'll work their way back in the starting lineup. But I really have no problem with them off the bench right now.
Yeah, I wasn't too mad either because it's just like they're young, and then they obviously playing for Boylan last year. They didn't really have a solid leader in the locker room. I'm not just going to sit here and just keep dissing Boylan. Who cares? He's gone. But like Billy Donovan has come in and he's really setting like a tone of what he's trying to do. He's actually trying to win games. They're not just trying to rebuild this year, even though they're not a playoff team. They're still like a respectable team. Like this move kind of surprised me because I started looking at like where the Bulls are amongst like NBA teams, and we're not like the bottom tier in like any category. Like in most categories, we're either in the top 10 or like the middle of the pack.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as like Coby and Wendell, I think it makes sense for kind of Coby to come off the bench right now. He's more of a scoring guard, anyways. So it's like it kind of helps him just kind of like you just said, slow down. But yeah, I don't know. I think he's got to kind of. I think they both. It's just like a discipline thing. Like they're both young, so it's like it's honestly wasn't even that big of a deal. According to like everything I read that they said, like him and Wendell are both like, you know what, like whatever we got to do to win. Like I'm sure they're going to be back in the starting lineup in like no time. Once we get things rolling, but they're trying to make a playoff push. So like we just got dubbed or whatever like 2 or 3 times in a row. So it's like yeah, you got to switch it up. There was a different game plan, and they just looked a lot better. The whole team, like, and it's not like they didn't play. Like Coby played like 27 minutes or something.
Mm-hmm.
Wendell only played like 19. But it's like at the end of the day, we got a dub against the shorthanded Raptors. But I think it'll give them some confidence because that's the first time we beat the Raptors in a minute, like a couple years or
2017,
something
I
like that.
think.
Yeah, that's crazy. So we used to smack them up all the time. The
I know.
Bulls did.
Yeah, I think
Um,
regardless of the fact, like you said, we haven't beaten the Raptors in so long. Regardless of the fact that they were shorthanded, that's still a huge, huge win against a playoff team. That's something we really needed. But I really like seeing Coby yesterday coming off the bench, in that scoring role. I really see him. I love Coby White, but I really see him as his peak as someone coming off the bench like a Lou Will, a Ben Gordon, a Jamal Crawford. Just immediate offense off the bench. He could play just like Jordan Clarkson. He's somebody who could just come in and make an immediate impact. He was plus 24 in the game yesterday when he was on the floor.
wow.
And Wendell was plus 12, plus 11, I want to say. Um, it's something that they definitely needed. But I really think that the Bulls just pretty soon, at least around the deadline, try to make a move for somebody because we don't have any size.
Mm-mm.
Right.
It's bad. Like
Yeah.
I love Thad. Don't get me wrong, but you can't start a 6'8" Thaddeus Young at center to go against Joel Embiid.
No.
It's
I mean, I think the only 7 footers they have are like Lowry and Cornette. I think those are the two, and Cornette doesn't get any tick. Wendell's like 6'10". I don't know.
yeah.
But yeah, another thing on the Coby White thing. I think he has a lot of pressure on him trying because you got play. I mean, you have Levine, Patrick Williams, Markkinen, and Wendell, and you're trying to distribute to all four of them, and it can be hard for a point guard like him who's more of like a score first to get everyone going. And the Bulls, like them especially, they rely so much on their point guard to get everyone involved because I feel like I mean, like Pat Will isn't really taking anyone ISO right now. His rookie year. I mean, Levine's the only one who really and Kobe, but sometimes if Coby tries to do too much and turns the ball over, it can be hard for like Markkanen and Wendell to get going. So I think it's nice to have Satoransky, Thaddeus who can pass the ball around, so that players like Markkanen and Williams can get going like we saw yesterday in the first quarter, and it carries on through there.
Especially with the way P. Will played yesterday, you really saw you could almost say this was the coming out party for the Paw. Dropping a career high 23. It was a great day for NBA rookies yesterday. I'm not gonna lie, especially Anthony Edwards dropped his career high yesterday too. I think he dropped like 34, something in the range of that.
Against Portland.
Yeah,
pretty good team.
It was a statement game, and it was the same thing for Pat yesterday. He was talking about how I feel like it bothered him a little bit not making it to All-Star weekend, but he didn't take it lightly as a vacation. He was in LA training, and he was ready to go for the second half of the season. And that's something I love to see. Yesterday was the first time I've ever seen Pat Williams smile. And
I saw that.
He's always got that Kawhi straight face, and that's something I love to see. He's coming out of his shell a little bit. I think he's going to be a star. I just feel something with him, with the way he plays and just his mentality. He's got a veteran mindset, and I think P-Dub, he's our second star we need. But if we can get a trade for someone, not even necessarily just a big, I'm still on that DeMar DeRozan train. I really want DeMar to come to Chicago, but if we can end up trading for somebody, a big man, we're gonna talk about the trade market pretty soon, but we need someone, just a little splash of a move. If we can keep everybody else kind of intact, to maybe trade like a future first, a couple seconds or something. I'm fine with that. Oh, I thought you were gonna say something.
I was waiting for someone to go. I was just gonna say I agree with what you're saying. I don't know if DeMar DeRozan is necessarily the player we need to go get, but I think we need. I was telling you, or maybe it was someone else the other day, like the Bulls have like a nice core. Like they should like. You see all these big free agents going to like the young teams because they got all these players. Like when is a free agent going to come to the Bulls? Like they got good players. They got Zach, they got Pat, Laurie, Wendell. Like we have a nice core for someone that's an established player to come in and like kind of bring them over the top. Like kind of how like Kawhi like went into like, or not my bad, how LeBron went to LA because they had all those young players or whatever. Like that's what attracted him supposedly. Also, he wanted to be in LA. We talked about that too. But yeah, I think DeMar DeRozan, obviously I wouldn't be a complainer if he ended up in a Bulls uniform. But I think if we went and got someone, say, like Andre Drummond, I'd be like, all right, I like that. I do like the idea of Andre Drummond coming to Chicago.
I don't think it would cost that much to get Drummond either. I think he's somebody who maybe they'd be like, maybe we'd be lucky enough to throw Felicio in a deal. Get Felicio out of here with a second or first round pick.
Take Otto off our hands, like to match the money, and take a pick. Like
it's only a matter of time before Otto gets hurt again. I'm sorry to say it, though. Like,
I love that dude, but and he can provide some for like an actual contending team.
Yeah.
Too.
I'm a team I could see them trading for him is the Warriors. I've heard the rumors about the Warriors wanting him. And that's somebody that could really fit well next to Steph. And another guy that we can't see healthy. Well, Laurie's healthy now, but that's another guy who's never healthy, which sucks because when he's on the court, he provides, but he's not really on the court to provide. And as well, Chandler Hutchison, man, like, I don't get it,
dude.
I just don't get it. I hope that he could figure it out because he's got a nice NBA body. Like, he fits like a prototype NBA player. When he came in, like I was thinking, like he can maybe kind of play like a young Scotty a little bit. He could handle the ball, he could shoot. He was a really good defender in college, but he just can't. I don't know. And especially when there's other guys we could have drafted, man. We took Chandler Hutchison from Boise. I hope he figures it out. I really, really do.